Moving on to topic 2, more wrestling. Wrestlemania weekend coming up on the 10th and 11th. So once again, as of recording on March 27th, we got, once again, a lot of matches. I thought there was more matches, but there's not. Night 1, we got Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. We have the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against AJ and Omos. We got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. We have Bad Bunny versus The Miz. We have Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown's Women's title. And we have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. On night 2, we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. We have The Fiend versus Randy Orton. And we have, Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan, triple threat match for the Universal Championship. So, a lot going on. Yes, Lady in Wonderland, I did say Bad Bunny is wrestling at WrestleMania. He is a rapper, but this is how you get the mainstream involved. Don't even start me talking about Logan Paul references and shit on SmackDown. It's bullshit. We don't want it. Keep Logan Paul out of here. He's a piece of shit.
I second that, by the way. The wife called her Sama Bree. I was trying to find the screen name. Yeah, Sama Bree said or Sam Amanda, whatever the screen name is that she has. She said Big Bunny.
Big Bunny.
She's like, oh, Big Bunny. And I'm like, no.
He's a tiny bunny. Oh, boy. So, we got some interesting matches, some with a lot of story and some that are just thrown in there.
Where do you want to start?
Oh, God. Let's start night 1.
Oh, do we have to?
Let's see. Anything interesting here? Oof. Okay. Okay, I'll ask you, Steve, because you seem to have a lot of opinions on night 1. Do you have any matches that you're looking forward to? Or that?
Did you say Lashley was the first night?
Lashley is against Drew the first night. Yes.
Yeah, that's one to watch. I think that's one to watch. Okay, we'll start in the penthouse before we get to that.
Okay.
I think that could potentially be match of the weekend.
Okay.
I think that Lashley should hold on to the title. I would hold Lashley. Well, it depends what the plan is. See, who's he face next then?
Right.
You know, like what's the build up? So let's just in an imaginary world say Lesnar. Okay. Do you rush that? Do you do like SummerSlam? I would have Lashley hold it for a year.
Okay.
I would say hold it till next WrestleMania when you can get more people in the arena, or or have Drew face him again next year or something. Just build up to something. I think this flip flopping, like Miz just had it a week or two.
He had it a week.
Yeah, good. So I'm just kidding. Actually, believe it or not, I know this is not popular opinion at this point. I'm starting to mildly. You may want to clip this. I mildly almost appreciate the Miz at this point.
Hey.
I know. It went from my skin crawling to okay, I get it. I can appreciate him, not in a heel way, but like kind of in the past, kind of like in a go away sort of heat with me. But he's growing on me. He's growing on me. It's taking about 10 years, but he's growing on me at this point.
It's a slow burn. That's all right.
It's a slow burn. But anyway, yeah. So I think Lashley has to hold on because of the length of the title. You can't keep flipping it back and forth. I mean, it just becomes more and more of a prop each and every time. I love Drew. I love that Scottish intensity. I love the look, the way he talks, the way he walks. He's just got that, butt kicker look. I just don't know. I think Lashley is just in such a prime position right now, and the way that they're doing this hurt business, kind of thing going on, with him and what's his face, MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good combo, and I think that those two can just go probably push another year. I really do. Maybe have him lose at like Survivor Series against Reigns, and then kind of create that weakness, and then he goes to WrestleMania and loses to whoever next year. But I just wouldn't have him lose now.
Okay.
But what about you? What do you think?
Well, Papa Griff right now in the chat says Claymore goes over, Bobby can't work. Interesting. I don't know about the can't work. Yeah. He's definitely he's a different style. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's awful.
He can't cut he doesn't cut a great
well, that's
promo,
why
that's
MVP's there, like the mouthpiece.
Yeah, which exactly, so, yeah.
I don't know. I think I got to lean towards Drew, but only because of like the get over moment that he didn't get last year, if that makes sense.
And I had that thought too. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's my only thing. Personally, this is another one I'm like, I'd be fine either way. Like, I like Drew, but I might be burnt out a little bit at this point. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Lashley, like, I like his look. I like the entrance. I like his presence. But yeah, he's another one that just doesn't like excite me. Like, oh God, this guy is a heel I really like. Or obviously he's not a face, but like somebody I'd really want to cheer or like see more of. He's like, he's there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing where you mentioned about Brock, I'd be down with that from a logic standpoint. As a fan standpoint, clearly where I stand with Brock. Like, but then it comes into question of like, do you put Brock against Bobby because the MMA history, not them against each other, but just both with the background, or are you going to set Brock if he does return with Reigns because of the Heyman history? Like, what route do you go there?
I know.
That's a big old question mark. If he even comes back, we have no idea what he's doing right now.
Right. We don't know. He could be out golfing for all we know.
So so personally, I think I got to lean towards Drew, but I'm not sure.
Could go either way.
Let's see. Papa Griff says, even if I wasn't leaving WWE, but if you give me Bobby for a year, I weigh gone. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. And then he says you can get Cole over Drew if he comes up, but you can't get Cole over Bobby. That's a good call. I mean, Drew's a big, tall mother trucker too, so I don't know.
I mean, let's not pretend Drew's a little guy.
If he was a few years ago when he was scrimp and had no muscles, maybe. But now that he's yacked beyond belief.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because, okay, Papa Griff, let's go back to the Cole being called up. I know we're skipping ahead here, but let's go with the triple threat. Let's go with the triple threat match, right? If Daniel pulls this off, especially being his quote-unquote last Mania, we got Cole beating him clean on SmackDown when everybody was stuck in Bloodsport, Saudi Arabia, excuse me. Like, he went over clean there against Bryan, so you already know he could beat him. Maybe he wins that one. Maybe go SmackDown route. I don't know. But we're skipping ahead. He got Bobby Roode over. That's true. And it worked in NXT. Also true, because Cole did attack Drew at that Brooklyn show. Brooklyn 4? I don't remember. But that's true. That's true.
But that was NXT.
Yeah. Edge is going over for the triple threat. I mean, I want it. But we changed this whole plan with adding Daniel Bryan in there now all of a sudden, so that always throws a wrench in things. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the main title match. Do you have any other Penthouse night ones, or is it all Outhouse from there?
I think it's all in the bathroom.
Really? Even Banks and Belair?
Oh, is that first night?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were winning tonight too. Okay, I take that back. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a good one. I think Banks goes over.
You think Banks goes over?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Man. See, I think... I don't know. I stuck with her in Rumble and said she was officially winning. I got to stick with her here. I think she's got to go.
Okay.
I think she's going over. I think Belair's got it. Papa Griff says Banks too. Interesting. See, my thing, like there's some points that can go for it and go like back and forth. Like, do you strap the rocket on her, and then is it too much too fast, and then it just loses all its steam, or like,
yes,
do you commit to it and be that like swan song Rumble to Mania like whole thing arch? Like, it's a delicate game to play because was Bianca doing much with her call up prior to this? Not really. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if she loses, does she just go back to that? Which I hope not. I don't think so, but we don't know. And like, but then again, has Banks had a Mania moment either?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, they lost the tag titles. It wasn't the main event. She wasn't involved there. I don't know if she has.
I think she outran Pineapple Pete on a track video, didn't she?
Probably. Oh, boy. Oh, I'm sorry. Papa Griff says Bianca's going over, and so is Rhea. My bad. I understood that as Banks. Okay. Interesting. Rumble rewards. Okay. I mean, I'd be fine with both of those, to be honest.
For sure. I like both of them. I just, I think it's too soon.
Okay.
I think it's too soon. I think you have to build her more. I don't want, I mean, it depends where she stands in VMAX eyes, Is she the next Charlotte Flair, where she just pushes her to the moon? Is she somebody who, is getting the limelight now and then just kind of falls wayside later, which would be tragedy. I don't know. Right. I don't know. I think it really depends on. We'll know after WrestleMania. Right. We'll know where she stands. I just think that Banks is too established at this point. I think that Bianca still has probably another year to kind of grow, because you got to remember too, she is new to a lot of fans. Yeah. NXT's doing what do they average at this point? Maybe
600,
700,000 people. 600, okay, about 600,000 people a week. Whereas Raw's doing what, 1.8, 1.9. Like so let's say there's 1.1, 1.2 million people who have never seen this person before. So it's kind of, it's going to take time to build her up a little bit. As opposed to just, unless they assume that everybody watched NXT and knows. Sure.
I think another thing that goes in Bianca's favor is they did that the WWE Network special on her, like showing her, I don't know if it was a 24 or something, but like they put that special on her too, then to get the Rumble win. Like, it could be just another stepping stone off of that. Papa Griff brings up an interesting point. So he says Bianca and Rhea go over. Rumble rewards. Then they get hosed by Charlotte and Becky's returns. You could set that up too,
Yeah.
Yikes.
You never know. It's really, WWE is not straightforward.
Right.
Like, they're booking you, or writing, or whatever you call it at this point over there. It doesn't follow that sequence where, what they do is what you'd expect them to do.
And I mean, that's good, because if it was just all, that's happening.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it makes no logical sense, and it's just, because then a surprise isn't a surprise anymore.
Right.
If it's just, I don't know who's going to win every time, then it's like, well, who?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. We'll see. Right. Hey, I'm rooting for both. I like both of them. They're cool.
So that'd be a good one. I'm a little weird on like the story build up of how they're doing it. Like, since Fastlane was weird, of like, now Banks is going this hard heel, calling her rookie and all that stuff. That's a little weird, but it is what it is. That would be a good match. Let's see. I guess I'll just give brief thoughts on the other four. Bunny Miz. I get it. It's a publicity move. We got to get eyes on it. Whatever. Cesaro.
Where's my vomit bag? Hang on a minute.
Cesaro, Rollins, like, both are talented, but I don't have. There's no like super story behind that, so it's like, I don't know. New Day and AJ and Omos.
Hang on. What about Cesaro? You think it's too little, too late?
I don't, but you got to give him something if, that's the case. Like, he has people behind him, but we're not doing anything with it. Like, this is like, yeah, it's a Mania match. Great. Does it mean anything? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you beat Rollins. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. It wasn't for a title. It wasn't for anything. Like,
yeah.
God. I don't know. We got Kofi and
do you think?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what do you think it would? Where do you think this would be if, you know, like, let's say fans were in there week to week here on out? Mm-hmm. You think Cesaro, we'd start seeing some movement, more, less, or about the same?
I would hope so, but knowing obviously what we've known for years, like, sometimes they just are like, what? Oh, I heard things. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is that the win? What was that?
So, God, I would hope so, but man, I don't know. And I think, like, even because you could see it sometimes on, like, the internet. Now, don't get me wrong, the internet sometimes is a piece of trash that just doesn't do anything. I'm looking at you, Twitter. Yeah. Like, even when Shinsuke went through that gauntlet, like, everybody was like, yes, this is the Shinsuke we want. And then what do we do after that? Nothing. We get a bro. Yeah. We get him and Riddle doing a weird Fastlane promo. And then we get him losing to Rollins because fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good match, but
why
fuck
not? It. Yeah. Just because.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know.
I love Claudio. Mm-hmm. I love him. Oh, he's awesome. It's just, you know, again, we're gonna keep saying this throughout the night. Underutilized, under push, as JR always says. You know, everybody's got to get their push. You know, but he really should. He's so talented. He always has been. Do you ever see that interview way back when? I saw it when it happened. When after Punk left. And by the way, you wearing a Punk sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Right here. That's awesome. There you go. I just noticed. I was like, wait a minute.
This is the old one, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But he, what the hell was I just talking about? Oh, yeah. But Claudio, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Vince, you remember when he was on Austin's podcast or whatever that was, the Austin show? Yeah, and he was saying, Cesaro, he's we're not sure what he's missing right now, but there's just something not there and all that. Again, that's that mentality backstage. We just don't know what he's missing. There's something missing. It's like, but I don't want to say he's out of touch because I know he's got a lot going on, you know, but he's so talented. Right. I mean, it's in front of you. It's in front of you and you can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, and same with Daniel Bryan. I mean, what took so long?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it breaks your heart. Like, these guys are so talented.
For sure. And I'm not...
And they were talented beforehand.
Yeah. And, like, there's a lot of players like that. And it's not to say, like, you don't need those stable, like, not ground players. What am I trying to say here? Okay, kind of think...
Well,
Go ahead.
Back in the day, they used to call them years ago. Like, in the territory days, they would call them carpenters.
Okay.
They're the guys who they would just keep building. So they'd be the guys to be in there to build others.
Okay, yeah, like those workhorses, those kind of like in other sports, like those assist players. Like, they're not the star player, but they're there to make everybody better. Like, you can have those people, but why not? Especially if this guy's been doing it for years, why not, like, just a moment, like, ooh, there's something, and then, you know, we could go back there. Like, have a little rotation going on here. Not saying, like, everybody's got to get a fair chance because everybody's got to get a partition trophy, whatever. But, like, if they show you they can do it, why not throw a bone here and there? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Papa Griff says Rollins is the new Jeff Jarrett. Oh, boy.
Yikes. Ooh. Which incarnation? I'm curious. Oh, that's rough. He's right, but that's rough. Ooh. Oh, man.
Let's see. And then we got the other two matches in night one. We got New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Styles and Omos. I
can't get over the Jarrett comment. You're so right. I'm sorry. Was there anything? Hold on. We'll get right back to this. Was there anything? You watched some old WCW from the late '90s, early 2000s, like the 2001? Yeah. Okay. Was there anything worse than Jeff Jarrett 2001?
No, maybe TNA Jeff Jarrett, but
Oh, that's okay. Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, the carryover. Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The
Oh,
tag
you're
team
good.
match. I couldn't. I had to get Jeff Jarrett out of
You're
my
good.
system. I won't be getting any fan mail from him somehow.
This is a weird toss together match, and I'm not sure what the
Yep.
route they're going with is. Are we just gonna
Yeah.
give Omos and Styles the tag belts? But then we're also, I mean, I don't watch Raw, but what I've seen is like Styles is like, you're lucky you have me as your partner, like ha ha ha, like joking around like that it's
Yeah.
not a good unit. So is this just the moment Omos
Yeah.
is gonna beat up Styles or turn on him or whatever? And if so,
Yeah.
throw away. It just seems like a waste.
Yeah.
Like we need a match for these guys. Go for it. I don't know. And this.
What do you think of wrestling broadcasting? A heel turn or a babyface turn. Like, you know how you were just saying, like they're basically forecasting, like they're showing you, like foreshadowing, I guess is the word. Like there's going to be a split at some point between these two, right? Like there's some tension between these two. What do you think of that? Do you always like that? Sometimes do you like a surprise turn that you didn't see coming? What do you think of that?
I definitely not all the time, because if it's all the time, it's just like, oh well, there goes that kind of thing. Like it's so clear.
Exactly.
I liked. Obviously, we have the Pinnacle example right now. We had the seeds planted for like ages. If you really looked, like I didn't notice any of it until like MJF posted something on Twitter of everybody's like the Pinnacle. Like they kept saying it over and over again over promos. I was like, oh shit. So I like that, and then like I like when we don't go with the obvious. Like it was the New Day once again. How they got drafted to different spots. And everybody's Big E's going to turn, Big E's going to turn, Big E's going to turn. And then we did this just nice goodbye moment thing. Like, thank you for not doing the obvious and like stuff like that. Because they kind of hinted that he might turn with some like side-eye glances and stuff. Occasionally I like it and sometimes I don't when it's just too obvious. If that makes sense. I don't know.
What do you think about the? I realize we're going way off track at this point, but what about Big E and New Day? What do you think of that? You happy with where they're at? Do you think they just are meant to be together at this point? Do you think it's just the way they're positioning and that they haven't moved them far enough apart? What do you think it is?
Like, do you mean like what they're doing right now? How I feel about it, or personality wise?
Yeah. Do you feel Big E's completely gotten over to his full potential?
I wouldn't say full, but like I think he's on the right track. I think we're doing good stuff with him. I still like that he has the personality of like what New Day was doing. Like that's still himself, as he's said.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how we didn't just do a completely new character and here I am, this Big E.
We'll get to that in a minute. I got somebody else I'm talking about.
I like the tease back at the 5 gimmick, or at least bringing back the powder and stuff like that. I do like. We'll get to this match in night 2, but I do kind of like the feud we're doing with Apollo right now, and how he has those different levels of storytelling. Like he can be the goofy E that we love and know, or he can get this serious, like I'm gonna whoop your ass, kind of E.
Yeah,
I like that. But no, I think this is like we're on the right track with E. I don't think like this is his peak of what he can do, but I do like what we're doing with him. As for the opposite side of the coin with Woods and Kingston, I'm not confused, but like I assumed or would think if we're going to split these guys up, like obviously E's got his route, what we're going to do with him. I thought we would do something different or more substantial with Woods and Kingston. This just seems like kind of going back to Cesaro, like the filler role, which isn't bad, I guess. But like, did they really need the tag team belts again? No, they've already won them 10 times over. Now this is 11. Like, they had a good thing going with Hurt Business. Good, do that. Now go to a new team that we're trying to build up. I don't know who that team would be, but like use them as people we know who can work and know who can put on a good show and like build other people up kind of thing. Like, I don't know. And like Retribution, they could have been that for Retribution. And now I know everybody's got so many thoughts on Retribution. I think Retribution could have been good for a couple different things if we didn't, A, get stupid nicknames, and we committed to them. Don't have them go out and lose every match that they have. Like, then it's just a joke. The Mustafa reveal as him as the leader? Awesome.
Yeah.
Now do something with it.
Something, anything. Could have, should have, would have.
Yeah, and now it's dead, so it didn't even matter. So them, I'm like, I don't get it. But other than that, I think he's on the right track for their split.
Yeah. Okay, so
back to the tag match. So yeah, it's going to be interesting if they give them AJ and Omos the belts or if it's the turn. Papa Griff asks if there's any silent heat with Omos. Not that I know of. Yeah.
I know they've been sending him to those classes that Keith Lee's going
him
to.
And, what's his name? Otis. Yeah.
Otis. Oh, yeah. What happened to Otis?
And,
I know him and Chad Gable were like together now, right?
And
That's
they're
like
a heel team. Why?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Otis just screams
I
heel.
think they both make, like, it works as a team. But then we get into the logic questions 100 times over WWE. Let's break up a good team in heavy machinery. What are we going to do now, boss? I don't know. Let's put them in another fucking tag team. Whoa, we got the Iconics here. People really love them. They're entertaining. Oh, let's split them up. What are we going to do with Peyton? Put her in another fucking team. Stupid.
Yeah, making change for change's sake. You don't always have to change things, and that's what they don't get because there's no long-term plan.
Right.
You know, it's just Otis and Chad, and where'd Tucker go? Do you know where he is?
He did one
now?
jobber match, and now we haven't seen him in ages.
Is he on main event yet?
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, but I have no idea what happens in main event now, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised that's still even a thing.
That's like Night of the Living Dead over there.
Exactly. Oh, God. So, yeah, I don't know about tag match. And then Braun and Shane, I don't give two fucks. Who cares? Who cares?
You see where Shane's, leg hurt or whatever?
Yeah, fast lane. Oh, I twisted my ankle. Or my knee.
Oh.
My knee.
Card subject to change, my ass. Oh, come on.
I don't know. I've never been the biggest Braun fan, and I'm just like, okay, just move on. Move on.
I can tell. He's a nice guy. I can tell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... that's about it. You know? I mean, he's... you can tell he's a big, teddy bear type, But he's just, he can't cut a promo well. He has about 4 moves. Right. He's just... And then Shane is Shane.
Right. Papa Griff.
Wasn't he fired?
Shane? Probably. He's been fired like 8 times.
Yeah, wasn't he just fired like Owens, right? Not that long ago?
I don't know.
It wasn't that long ago.
Idea. Papa Griff says it's Shane's yearly bad word. Shane has to be the ragdoll. Yeah, it's just that's all it's gonna be. It's the
coast to coast.
Jump to the table. Yeah. That's it. All right.
What was the other match? Well, there was another one, right?
So night one, I think we covered them all. We had Lashley, Drew, Banks, Belair, Bunny, Miz, Cesaro, Rollins, tag match, and Strowman and Shane. That's night 1.
How long does Bad Bunny and Miz go?
I'd give it 5 tops. 5 tops.
Yeah. It's a singles match, right?
Yeah, it's a singles. So I assume you're gonna have Priest. I think it's Priest in Bad Bunny's corner and Morrison in Miz's corner. Poor Morrison. What the fuck are we doing with that?
Oh,
hey, you want to come back?
There's another one.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I was telling Sam Amander. I was telling her, I was like, Morrison was such. He was on. I know Impact. I don't know if you watched a ton of it, but he was, you know, top notch. Which may be like the nicest guy in prison, you know. But it's, he was doing a really good job, and then he comes back. And he didn't have the Drew McIntyre moment where he comes back and everything's beautiful and, you build and build.
That Rumble.
That
Rumble. I know you got to do the Brock thing. I get it now looking, back hindsight 2020. Why not leave Morrison till after that?
I know.
Ooh, he did a fun flip as he got thrown out. Big deal.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
His best thing that came since coming back has been last year's Mania. The triple threat ladder match. That's it. That's all he's done. Then he's been sing-songing.
It's horrible, man. Horrible. Who's that guy that was with I didn't recognize him unless if I'm just missing something. Who's the guy who was with Shane and Braun? I'm sorry, Shane and Elias.
Oh, that's Jackson Riker. He's formerly of the Forgotten Sons. He was on TNA as Magnus? Question mark? I don't think so. I think that's wrong. He was in TNA for a while.
No, I don't know.
No, Bram. Bram was his name, I think, in TNA.
Oh, Bram. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's him?
I think so.
Oh,
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he was part of the Forgotten Sons tag team. Then he said some offensive stuff on Twitter. That team got broken up, and they're off TV for a while. And now he's with Elias, because why not?
That's what I thought. I was like, didn't something happen?
Yeah, he was managing Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, I think his name is, who doesn't work there anymore.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. So, yeah, night 2.
Okay. Yeah, night 2. Okay.
All right, so out of these 4 matches, anything that's Penthouse versus Outhouse.
What were the 4 again?
We have Owen Zane, Big E versus Apollo. Okay. We have The Fiend versus Orton, and we got Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan.
Fiend and Orton is so far in the Penthouse. It's one of. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I wish I could edit that right out. Orton and Fiend is so far in the porta potty. It's like the state fair after 3 weeks and it hasn't been changed yet.
Oh my.
That is, it's horrible. Horrible. What do you, there's no way. You don't like that, right? If you do,
yeah,
cool.
I do.
I totally respect you.
I totally get why people are like, on it. It's so out there. I'm like, you know what? This is different enough. I like it. And I don't know if it's like the similar to how Broken Matt Hardy and that stuff was, how that was like so obscure. It was interesting. I like the storytelling of this. I know like 99% of it is cinematic, and I'm fine with it in this era because there's no fans and stuff. You can get away with it. I'm fine with it. I like that. I think I like this way of presenting it where it's pre-recorded and everything's in the ring and yada, yada, yada. I think I like that more than maybe like, oh, we're going to X location and we're just out in the woods fighting kind of thing. Yeah. I like playing with that element. Would this work any other time where fans were here? Absolutely not. No.
Could you imagine if the fans were there? Okay.
Yeah.
And imagine if let's pretend, and I wish this was the case, that the pandemic never happened, okay? Imagine them watching this match right now. Could you imagine? I think Hell in a Cell with Rollins would have been
God,
compared to this.
Yeah. So I'm liking the storytelling of it. It's going to be interesting once we get fans back in, like, how are you going to do this character again, especially with Fiend being burned now, which the new costume's kind of cool, but honestly I would prefer the other one. Like, where do you go from here after this story's done and once fans are back? That's my question. Like, how do you transfer this from this cinematic faux pas-esque storytelling? But yeah, I kind of like it. Do I think it's going to be the best thing ever or that entertaining? No, but I think I like the presentation
I was going to send
of it.
I totally respect that. I can't imagine this being
fair enough.
I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it's the best cinematic match, better than Sting and Darby, better than the Graveyard match, the Boneyard match. I hope it's better than all of them. I really do. Yeah. For the sake of wrestling. I just don't think
Steve,
so.
at least you can guarantee this. It's going to be better than their last Mania match where we had the maggots on the mat through a projection. At least you can guarantee that. Oh, a projection! I'm scared.
Hey, you want to hear an interesting story? I never knew this. But I was listening to Something to Wrestle, and they were talking about the fact that years ago, what's his face? Who's the the guy came from OVW and then went to WWE, the one with the worms and stuff. What was
Boogeyman?
His face? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Did you know that they have to have a worm handler on set?
I mean, if it's there, I can assume.
I never would have thought that. It makes sense because they're animals technically, but I would have never thought that. I just never thought, you see them at tackle stores, I never
You need a handler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what?
Lady in Wonderland says, if that happened while I was watching, I would literally never watch wrestling again. Lady, you don't watch wrestling when it's a normal match. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Papa Griff also shouts out the Rhea versus Asuka match. That is happening. I'm on WWE's site right now. It doesn't have it under night 1 or night 2 on this current page. So I could be missing stuff, but we could talk about that one as well.
My guess is that'll be a night 2 if Bianca and Sasha's on one, right? Night 1?
Split everything up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's night 2, that's fire. I'm looking forward to that. I know like it's a thrown together like, I'm Rhea Ripley. I want a title shot. Like, that's it. She just showed up and asked for it. But, like, I don't care. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So.
Does somebody get added on last minute?
For the ladies or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, how you remember a few years ago? You remember like Becky and Ronda? There was the build up, and there was that. Like it was white hot, and then all of a sudden they added Charlotte. Right. Do you think they'd do something like that again?
God, I hope not. The Rhea Asuka thing is an interesting one because of, once again, it's just this thrown in there one. But Charlotte's been advertised as at Mania. She's off the poster now. She told Asuka she wanted to go for the belt. We have the Andrade situation. And apparently she has COVID or tested positive.
Right.
Which is the first one they've openly come out and say someone has COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Except for Drew. No, Drew they did.
Yeah.
So it's like...
True, they did.
Now, I don't want to say with the Andrade stuff that they'd be bitter. Because Charlotte's obviously, in their eyes. So why ruin that? So I want to say it's not that. So I want to believe the COVID thing, but the timing of everything is just very awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think they add anybody. I think that would... Oh, boy. Yeah, that would be rough if they did. So I'm going to say no and just have high hopes for that.
Who goes over?
I think Rhea does. I know
Okay.
Asuka was hurt recently, so I don't know if she's still kind of healing from that. I like Asuka, and like obviously Asuka's tough to beat. It's an interesting one. Like it could go either way. But I want to say Rhea just because we obviously had the Rhea Charlotte match last year. And a lot of us were pulling for Rhea then to go over Charlotte. She didn't get that moment. So we are like, I feel like you mentioned with Bianca, we don't have the 1 point whatever million that haven't seen Bianca. I feel like everybody's seen Rhea at this point. Obviously we had the Survivor Series moment where they won. We had obviously the Mania last year where she didn't win, unfortunately. We had the Rumble once again. Like, I think she's had those eyes now. I'm not saying like, oh, everybody hates Asuka or Asuka's heel, so like they want her to beat her, but I feel that would be more believable in a like fan perspective, like, oh, okay, yeah, she went over. Because if we're going back to the audience portrayal thing, Asuka in NXT was like dominant, nobody could beat her, right? Like she gave up. I don't know the word for it. I'm looking for it, but she gave up the belt when she left.
Yep.
Nobody beat her. So, like, that audience hasn't seen that Asuka. They've seen the Asuka that we've seen on main roster, which is kind of like, was really strong, then is kind of not strong, then's in a tag team's goofy, still goofy, but kind of strong. Like, not this dominant force. So, like, I think that also kind of leads into the, like, oh, this is possible type thing. It's not like this giant things she's got to overcome and tackle type deal. And I don't know. I think it's just something new because Asuka's held on to that belt. It seems like for a while. Well, it was the SmackDown belt, then it was the Raw belt, or was it both? There was that whole Bayley, Sasha, her thing. She's been passed around. She's been holding a main belt for a while this year, it seems. So I think it'd be okay if she loses. Yeah.
I think Asuka goes over, and I think it's a mistake to even have this match. I love Rhea, and I think bringing her in at this point, if she wins, you didn't deserve it yet.
Okay.
And then she becomes, the heel in the fans' eyes, potentially, she's being pushed by the company. If she loses, it's too soon.
Okay.
I think it's too soon for her to lose anything. I think she should go in for a good year and just kick some ass, take names, and then a year from now we talk about, who she faces at WrestleMania then, for the belt. I think it's too soon. Okay. I think that's why, in a way, as much as it would, appall me, I think they might have to add like a fall person.
Somebody take the hit.
Because I don't want to see either of these. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I also think Asuka, let's say she wins, right? I could see them doing something like Asuka wins, she's celebrating, she's dancing, and then all of a sudden Becky's music plays. And she comes out and she says, I want my belt back.
Right, because she kind of gave it to her with Money in the Bank.
Right. So I could see them doing something like that. We'll see. But
okay. Papa Griff brings up, so LA Knight should wait in line. MSK should have waited in line, ? Bringing back up the NXT guys that we talked about getting the title, possibly. So, like, should they have waited? Because Rhea's, like, going off your point. Like, that Rhea should wait from a fan perspective. Like, is that the case?
I don't think Rhea should be in this match. I think it's too soon. I think you have to build her because, again, as I was going, and she's had even less build now on Raw in terms of like actual, consistent presentation. She's had less build than Bianca.
Yeah, because Bianca's been out for a while.
Right, and even though she had a match in front of everybody's eyes at WrestleMania and a couple appearances here and there, last year, she's just they still have to develop her as a character. And it's tough to do that when you have the title because you have nothing to fight towards. You're fighting others away from you. You're trying to hold them off. Instead, and I think it's easier to try and build somebody from the ground up as opposed to, but.
Okay. Going off your point where, like, if she wins, that puts a lot of heat on her because of the, like, the company's got a lot of faith. This is the person they're going with kind of thing, or however you put it. I think that could work if she goes heel. Rhea's a very strong heel. Like, she started off heel, well, technically she started off face in the Mae Young Classic 1, then she came back heel, Mae Young Classic 2 with the new look. Like, I think that could work. Get a strong heel character, because I'm trying to think ladies-wise, do we have a strong heel? Probably Charlotte's the only one I can think of. Well, Sasha now with the turn, and Bayley. Okay, maybe that's a lie. On Raw, do we have a strong? We need that, and especially if we're going Becky comes back, kind of thing. And then, there's rumors of Bella's coming back. I don't know what grounds that is. I'd be fine with that. I'm just really scared with her losing to Asuka, not because, like, once again, not that Asuka doesn't have legitimacy or whatever, or shouldn't be there. My fear is would be Rhea's second loss. Would that hurt her? Like, would that just put her in the grave immediately? Like, the first one, we get it. It's NXT. People think of it as the lesser brand. Oh, she lost to the main star, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
This one, if she's here, like, I guess because it's a recent call-up, you could still go with that route. Like, does she have any legitimacy when post-Mania? Like, should we even believe in this character? She's lost twice. at the main stage. Like you said, you think it's a bad spot for her in general, which, talking it out, obviously, yeah, I could see the negatives of both results. Yeah. I don't know.
I would have brought her in Monday. Or, the Monday after.
I think that might have been the original plan, but then this COVID thing. Because they didn't say, like, oh, she's coming to Raw until Fastlane, the night before she showed up, which is when all this stuff happened. So it might have been Bully puts it on Busted Open podcast in case of emergency break glass. It might have just been that. Like, we can make a graphic quick, like, and do that.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Papa Griff also brings up Cross came right in and dominated. Walter came right in and dominated. Santino over Umaga. And then he also says maybe she's young Kurt Hennig and she'll have to go to AWA to come back as Mr. Perfect. Yeah, she's going to keep losing then come back, maybe.
That would be interesting.
It's a tough one. I don't know. I'm still going to say she wins. But there's a lot of things to think about.
Did you ever watch any old AWA?
I have not, no.
Oh, whenever they get that loaded up, you should watch some. With the old Vern Gagne.
Okay.
Oh, you'd love it. I think you would love it. Yeah, it's like basic style wrestling, but it's good, and they build these guys up. It was great, yeah.
So yeah, the ladies will be interesting. So we also got the triple threat, the IC title, and then Owens and Zayn. Owens and Zayn is a weird one. They just added it last night. I don't know if there's any story there. Literally, I think it's just throw in there. Now, don't get me wrong. These guys can do great work, as we've seen in numerous companies before, but, like, it's just like...
It's a filler match. It's a filler match. It's not going to insult my intelligence. It's not going to, but it's not going to make me say I need to buy this pay-per-view.
See, this is a match that everybody wants, but not the build that they want. If we could go back, like, 4 years when Zayn was, the ska dancing face... and Owens was the dirtbag heel. Like, just do the NXT match again. Just on the biggest stage.
And I like those guys, I liked El Generico. I liked,
Steen.
Kevin Owens. I just, it's just, I don't know. Right now?
Just a throwaway.
and I'm not even just picking on WWE. I could say the same thing about FTR and the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's like all that build, and then it was just kind of like, it was good, Thanks for coming, It's just, I don't know. Sometimes things are rushed.
Papa Griff also jokes, Owens and Zayn will never, ever, ever wrestle again. Oh, wait, let's go again for the 400th time.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly,
yeah,
right.
That's true. So I mentioned this earlier, IC title, Big E and Apollo. It's, I like what they're doing with it. I like that we're finally doing something with Apollo. Thank fucking God. I'm interested in this one if they do well. Fastlane's match was good, and then it got ass right at the end. What was that finish? What was that question mark roll up? Whose shoulders down? Who got count? Oh, Big E won? Cool. Nobody looked strong there. Apollo beats him up after just because we got to save something here if this was a mistake. I don't know. Oof. Like, I want to be invested in this one, but man, that Fastlane event just took a...
Let me ask you a question, because maybe I'm just missing it, okay? What's with this Apollo Crews character?
Okay, so I don't know much about Apollo pre-NXT, to be honest. But I know coming in, he was going under the character, I think he had Uha was part of his name or something like that. But he was the Uha Nation. I know that. I thought, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of calling back to that character, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I kind of dig it because it gives Apollo something to actually talk about instead of just being smiley babyface all the time. Like, he has character now, which makes him more interesting. And we know the guy can do stuff. Like, he's very acrobatic and skilled and whatnot. So I think it completes its package. Is it a weird 180 from, like, hi, I'm Apollo. Hi, I'm Apollo. And now have an accent all of a sudden? Like, that's a little weird. But it's the reverse Kofi Kingston. Like, weren't you Jamaican?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was just unbelievable. It's it's like he got an email from somebody about getting a winning a prize from Nigeria, and then all of a sudden he's got the accent, like oh, guess what I got? I didn't pick up money, but I picked up the accent.
Hey,
I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, you're Black Panther now. That's popular. Do that.
Yeah. Coming to America too. Like, what do we do? I'm like, what is
so?
This?
The suspension of belief is very weird with the accent thing. It's weird, but once again, I'm fine with it because I think it gives him that substance. Like, there's actually a character there now. But yeah,
It's like Lana. Like, all of a sudden, Lana one day, she went from 90 Day Fiance to that like Russian, oh, Rusev, and all of a sudden it's like, she's,
you're from Georgia.
Like, you and me. Which is, and I'm like, hey, that's cool.
Right.
Good for you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, they did that years ago with Kofi. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I never picked up on it until Triple H segment where he's like, "Wait a minute, weren't you Jamaican?" Yeah. I never noticed that watching week to week, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him. I'm just like,
it's
what?
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's all good. I'm just like,
like
in terms of storytelling, I'm like, I don't get it.
I like how they made it a big deal and didn't just like he changed overnight of like he had the accent without acknowledging it. Like mid promo he put it on. I at least like that kind of thing and like how he's really aggressive, but I want to have more faith in this match, but once again that fast lane finish. Oh. Just not good.
Yeah, not
and
good.
And then we got our triple threat for the Universal title. Any thoughts on this one?
Oh gosh. Okay. Think here. You go first. Go ahead. You go first. I'm gonna trying to put this nicely.
Okay. So I think the story they have is interesting. I like how they've gone with bringing Daniel Bryan in a logical way. I think I might have brought it up to you. I know I definitely talked with Papa Griff about it. How like back in Elimination Chamber, Bryan won. Yay, he gets a title shot. But he got it immediately. Like, there was no chance. Yeah. What the fuck is this? So I like how we're building from like, hey, I got shit on here. I'll do the Fastlane thing. All right, I do the Fastlane thing. Some mistakes happen. Edge gets frustrated. There's this, that, the other thing. Ba-bam. Now we got the triple threat. I'm fine with all that. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm confused as why we had to do it. Like, why we couldn't just do spear versus spear, Reigns Edge. I'm a little confused on that.
Yep.
Like, if it's Ryan's last Mania, okay, I get it. Do I think he needs to win? No. Like, I'm still pulling for Edge, like Papa Griff said earlier. I still think Edge wins it all. Unless Reigns keeps it just to keep this dominant character going. The question is what happens after? Like, what does Reigns do from here? Like, if the rumors were true originally, obviously this was going to lead to a Rock thing. The Rock thing's not going to happen for a while because most likely you're going to save that for WrestleMania Hollywood or whatever the fuck it's called in like 2 years.
Exactly.
Fine. Yeah. I'm down for that when and if it happens. But you can't just have him hold it forever and then, eventually, bye. I think Bryan's a good ad also because of the work dynamic. I think all three can put on a good show psychology-wise and figure out how to make this triple threat not just seem hokey, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not confused. I'm puzzled on, obviously, A, why this happened, why we needed the triple threat. And then B, where do we go after this? Like, if Reigns wins, once again, what do you do with him, Tribal Chief, that narrative? Okay. Sure. Edge wins. Yeah. Cool, we get the homecoming from last year's Rumble to this year's Rumble. We get all that. Bam. Rumble rewards once again. Makes sense. Obviously, he can do stuff with other guys, so I guess he's got the most definitive path of afterwards, like who he could work with. I get that. Mm-hmm. If Bryan wins, if this is his last Mania, as as the champion, like, you kind of got to be there. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, like,
Yep.
what's his route from here? Like, do you just have him face Reigns again because Reigns gonna be pissed, or maybe he's back with working with other people, like when he was doing the eco-friendly character, which I'd be fine with. But if you're trying to take time off and slow down, like, you can't really do that as champ unless you're that pro. It's very odd. So I don't know if it's just like a nice swan song for Bryan to kind of give him that, hey, you know, thanks for everything type moment. Which, if so, fine. It's just an odd throw-in. Papa Griff says Bryan is there for work rate. The other two need to rest. He's already had his Mania moment. True. 30, you can't beat 30. 30's, that's the top. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So that's my thoughts. I think Edge is going to win. I think it's going to be a solid match between the three. I'm just a little confused on why it ended up this way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, do we have any doubt Bryan takes the pin, right?
I think Edge takes it at the end.
Really? What, you mean gets pinned?
Gets pinned. Excuse me. Sorry. No, I think that's smart. Yeah, because then you keep Reigns strong. Because, like, you did the little fake teaser tap out at Fastlane. So, yeah, you keep Reigns out of it, keep him tribal chief, then he has some kind of ground stuff, rah, 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 you know, be angry. Yeah, and then if you're doing the swan song, that makes sense, too. Like, he went out on his back, like the saying is. Like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic because whose retirement is it? Well, no, I shouldn't say retirement, but who's, you know, because you got Edge. I don't know, you know, I know he's, 2 years? Signed for 2 years, I think?
Know.
Something like that. I'm not sure, but something along those lines. Bryan, you know, he's getting towards the end. You know, he's lucky to be wrestling now. You know, but do we have two guys that are finished after this? You know, it's like it's a little. I don't know. I've got Reigns winning. I think Reigns stays strong, and I think he holds it another.
That would
year.
be dominant. I mean, beating both of them. Like, obviously, they're both built up as strong, you know, faces. I'd believe that too. Once again, it just comes back to, like, where do we go from here? Like, do you do the Brock thing in SummerSlam or whenever, like we talked about? Or I don't know if other Uso is healthy or if he's on their side like Jay is. Like, do you have him whoop his ass? Like, where do we go?
I know.
Or do you do the Big E thing? Like, is this Big E's time to maybe take on Reigns from there? That could happen.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it could. It's definitely Bryan's getting pinned or tapped or, you know, whatever. He's you know, I think this is it. It's like it might be one of those things like, what was it, WrestleMania? Going back to my Rolodex, WrestleMania 17 was it when Austin? I think that was his final WrestleMania. 19. Okay, that was against The Rock,
15,
right?
17, 19 were against The Rock. Rock finally beat him at 19, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Pretty sure. Because he won at 17 with the chair shot, and he was heel technically, and then 15 he won.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's he won 19, or Rock won 19, and that was his last one.
Oh, okay.
He did this. He did the special referee with Lesnar and Goldberg that no one cared about.
Nobody cared about it. Everybody knew they were
and then he's done numerous "Hey, here I am" appearances. So,
yeah. We'll see. Hey, I hope it's a good match. That's all I hope for. What do you think of this Peacock move? You like it?
I was actually talking with a lady about this earlier today, trying to explain how it works out. I think it's smart, obviously, from a business standpoint, because money, duh.
Yeah.
I am very surprised that they didn't get the numbers of subscriptions that, like, they were anticipating from this.
Yeah.
Because from what I can tell, I'm not on the network all the time, but, like, there was so much content and good content on there. Like, I know it was rough at the beginning when they launched, but, like, that seems like great, like, for any wrestling fan, regardless of where you stand. I don't like the transfer process of, like, when we get the network on Peacock or through Peacock, however it works, everything's not available. I don't understand why it can't just be not a copy and paste, but like, hey, you have this thing established here, right? Why can't Peacock just literally take their umbrella and go, ooh, and like go over top of it and like, we just own this now? Why do we have to like rebuild it under new, not software, but however they're doing this?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I also don't like, I get it why they're doing it, but it sucks in the same answer of the censoring or removal of certain programming or things. Like, I get it. Yes, history of wrestling, there's a lot of questionable things that looking back, hey, that probably wasn't the best thing. You know, it was a time in wrestling, whatever. I get that as a company, you don't want that reflecting on you. However, like, is Joe Schmo, random Peacock subscriber, gonna go to this Raw or this WCW or whatever and be like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, just randomly find it or stumble upon it. They're not gonna care. So the people going to wrestling are gonna be wrestling fans. Or it's gonna be like, oh, I'm a general person. Oh, this WrestleMania thing's on and it's the Super Bowl. Like, you know, you're gonna go check it out. So I'm like iffy on that. I do also like, though, along with obviously NBC's backing, we're going to get more documentary type, like, funded stuff. Not to say, like, I love WWE 24s. I love the 365s. I love the other documentaries they put out there on the network since it's been a thing. Those have all been fantastic. I think with the funding, we can do more of those and we do them better. So, that's my thoughts on it. Papa Griff says, highly booty. Don't sell me a Pepsi and serve me a spring water. Totally understand that. Like, we'll have to kind of see once it finishes up, like, and everything gets transferred, how it works out, I guess. So, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally cool. I think they're doing it because, you know, they're you know, multi-billion-dollar brand who, you know, is trying to protect that image. I don't like it. I think that, you know, I've never been a huge fan of changing history. You know, I mean, it happened. It was, you know, looking back in present, you know, with present lenses, it's you know, certain things are kind of like, oh boy, like what were they thinking? Like, you know, when you're looking, you know, but now it's kind of like, okay, you know, but they're gonna change it. I mean, I don't like it either. I kind of, you know, it kind of takes away from what we once saw and, you know, why it was there and stuff. But, you know, it is. I mean, I didn't pay them $1 billion either, so what am I gonna do? You know, you know. But,
Papa Griff also.
I don't like it. Go ahead.
Well, that was back on the match, so if you still got some Peacock-wise, go ahead.
I was just going to say the navigation. How do you like that?
On the Xbox and PC, it's been fine. I know on the PS3, it was oof. It was rough.
Yeah.
So, from what I've experienced
recently... The Roku's like, okay. It's all right. I think I'm so used to the way it was organized before it, after they perfected it with the network, you know, it's just kind of,
gotcha.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't signed on. I haven't signed on yet to like the new Peacock stuff and like checked it there. But it will be soon, obviously, for Mania, so I'll be interested to compare how it goes.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So going back to the Reigns thing, Papa Griff asks, will they bring in the relative from MLW, Jacob Fatu, maybe to fight Reigns after? I don't know. No.
I wish.
Yeah.
Love Jacob
I don't know
Fatu.
the relationship with them, so.
Were they cousins?
No, I meant like company to company. I don't know how friendly W.
Oh, yeah. No, I doubt it. I think, does he have a match with, whatchamacallit coming up? Oh, what's his face? I don't remember his name. I forgot. I'm looking at the guy and I can't remember. He's got a match coming up. I think Fatu. I could be wrong on this. This is all alleged. I think there's some sort of criminal history with him or something. I don't know that. I've never met the man, but from what I've heard on some other podcasts and so forth, I think there's some reason WWE has steered away from him. Yeah. Again, I don't know. He could be he could be one of the Santas, and, at the price chopper, but I don't know.
All right.
But that might be a reason. Yeah, I doubt. I'd be surprised. Yeah. I wish. Right. Love Jacob Fleck too. He's on. You ever see him wrestle?
No, I have not.
Oh yeah, you'd be in for a treat. Yeah, he's good.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up our Mania thoughts. Looking forward to it as always. It's going to be an interesting one, especially with Hogan and O'Neal hosting once again. I also forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything to me, but whatever. So yeah, it's coming up on the 10th and 11th. So,
who would you have rather seen host?
I don't know if we even need a host, to be honest. Just go to the event.
That's right.
I think the only interesting host we had was New Day because we got the Hardys back, and that moment was awesome. And it was like, oh shit, New Day's just gonna come out because they did the whole little tease with Kofi taking off his hat and they're all in their gear, and then, here they come. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Other than that, I don't feel like hosts have done all that much. Like we had Bliss host one year. Did she do anything besides like, hi, and we have attendance record? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Hey, he's a name.
True.
And whatchamacallit? What's his name?
Titus.
Titus, right?
Titus. Some TV time.
He does some good work. Does some good work for the
absolutely.
community.
Yeah,
so,
I have nothing against Titus. It's just like it's a weird spot.
And Hogan's Hogan. So it is what it is.